Now we'll tie it to something that might make some more sense. So, as mentioned before, Salesforce, cloud-based CRM. If you know about this, just skip forward a couple minutes. And Informatica, which is the coolest thing in the world, in my opinion, that no one understands. But imagine now that you throw this in between and you can have data from an iPhone, data from your microphone from your Android, data from someone's profile online, tying it all together pretty fast. And that is a science to it. That isn't an art. It's literally all calculations and whatnot. So the calculations all are for increasing the neural network speed. How fast does your brain go? If you're on Jeopardy, do you buzz the buzzer first or are you going to be left in the wind? Like Salesforce, we did not realize that when we start collecting billions and billions and billions of rows of data, and as the data improves, for instance, I'm Brian, you know I'm 29, but maybe you learn that I was recruited by the New York Yankees. And we want to now add professional sports player as a column within the cloud. You can't do that. You have to, in simplest of terms, write equations to make it work still after making that change. And when you make a change, now you're adding more code. So now it's your job or our job to optimize the code and compress it so your brain can go fast again. So the result of not having this is not having the ability to manage complex data. If you don't have this, you're going to find yourself with a whole lot of data, but then thousands of years of time, of Earth time, filtering through it because it's just mathematically impossible to do with the speed. So we were just mentioning a few seconds ago about the mathematics, the calculations, all of the nonsensical stuff that really our teachers never told us would actually matter in life. Um, so think of your CSV, your regular Excel sheet. You have columns, one. You now have sheets, two. You now have tables, three. So anytime you want to change any bit of that data, you're going to have to basically rewrite your equations every single time because every time you add new types of data, whether it's from another source or from another informational character, or maybe the iOS app on your phone, the next version of the phone has a new feature you can track about the user. How do you now get that old info about the same user into the old data set? And that's where all this nonsense stuff comes up. So if anyone asks you how it works, this is your answer. Think about it. What actually makes this type of stuff work. And it's the indexing is what it comes down to. Almost like having a temporary memory facility, short-term memory, where you're able to access stuff a bit faster. And Salesforce's entire new business model is going to be to add these features, almost to be a back-end API to potentially other CRMs. Salesforce is really trying to diversify themselves with the competitive market. I mean, there's a lot of other companies. Look at Gohighlevel. It's a white label, but it's taking market share to some degree. And in my opinion, it would catch up to Salesforce. But with billions of dollars, Salesforce does have the ability to go off and separate themselves a bit. Zoho, I would say, is their only threat. But basically, if you're able to have a fast computer, good algorithms, you're now able to produce results faster. And I'll actually tie it to financial stock market, right? Why do people buy the $10,000 Mac computer? Because a lot of them are in finance. They need to have the instant data updates because, again, they're in finance. Time is money. Every millisecond of savings is billions of dollars. So if you ever want to know where any future is going for consumer products, always look at finance, what the stock market's doing for their technology, I should say. What does any of that actually mean? And if you want to know the real sciencey term, it's called a E2L tool. And that allows the facilitation of the data set integrations between things like Databricks, Snowflake, SAP. There's countless other, Microsoft Azure. The caveat is you need a whole IT team. I mean, this is not an out-of-the-box tool, which is what I find a lot of people are running into when they come to me with a billion rows of data they want to sell. I know it's in there, man. I just got to query it in Python. And I'm sure with a visualization system, I could sell it. And that's the point. That the product of the future is never going to be the data. Because data can be duplicated, repeated. There's value, but it's limited. Giving people the tool to be able to sell the data or use the data and basically just create an economic benefit from it, that's where the money's at. I mean, imagine it's like an Amazon, but it's all integrated in one core place. And consequently, data trades faster, money trades faster. I mean, just look at the economics. If money moves through a society faster, the dollar turns over faster, more money is made. Tie it to data. If you should be charging people more money for that flight to Miami because it's spring break and you're booking last second, that is what a company's meant to do. So why is big data management and cloud infrastructure really a requirement in the business world 2024? And the first reason is a lot of people end up getting their data scenario right, but it's not elastic to the point where you can keep growing it. Where, okay, if something was to change tomorrow, would we be okay and be able to operate the next day? Or would we be basically shut down for the time being? Being able to access the data anywhere, not in the back of a server room, not with Dan, the IT guy, but from your phone, from your computer, from your email. Really, that's why data is worth money, because looking at it, using it, is what creates the value. And that all ties into, obviously, the speed of making this type of accessibility being fast, and at the same time not stifling the scalability. Making it so it's profitable, that's the fun part. So the first three is easy to do. Now the fourth part's about making it so it makes money, meaning you're not over optimized for your servers where you're spending too much money on stuff you don't even need. As I said, it's a science, not being able to add more space when needed, but maybe being able to throttle people or compress people using abusive amounts of data. This is the world of the variables that take into effect when trying to predict the management of one of these systems. And really, the innovation. Would Uber exist if it wasn't for big data management? I would tend to believe no, because the airlines couldn't do the pricing they did, and we know they got there first. So now a good question is to be, does big data extract negative value out of consumers and put a net negative on society? Something to think of. Money, profit, speed of capital. That is why Salesforce is probably going to pay $11 billion for an algorithm, a data warehousing company. Really not much, in my opinion. But the more fascinating part is that this is one of the only companies that do what they do really well. Salesforce just took them off the market, buying them out entirely. What implications does this leave in the technology market? There's clearly a void right now if this deal finalizes, because everybody will have this problem. Everybody that wants to do anything with data, whether it's AI call centers or chat bots or predictive analysis for your inventory system, it's always going to be an issue. Data is only growing. It's not getting smaller. So the scientists and engineers of the world need to figure out how to do that, but more efficiently. And I would say it starts with this. So big data management, cloud storage, drives data commerce. That by having the ability to work big data in an enterprise level way, you're able to make a better business strategy and understand your marketing and the actual prospect of you're trying to work with, or your industry as a whole, your internal organization. Also, when you're able to give your customers information that looks nice and pretty in visualization, they're going to be more happy. Customers want to feel like they got something. Sending them a CSV doesn't feel good, but sending them, a whole welcome packet with their information, detailed out about the history of what they did with us, and they can recall it, they might be more like, more inclined to say, these guys care. They put together an entire package. It took time, a lot of personalization that makes me feel like this company knows a thing or two about me. Just think about when you get a reward on your local fast food place when you haven't visited there in a month. They're like, yo, we got you a free sundae if you buy that milkshake. Well, I like sundaes and milkshakes because, I've been buying that for like the last 5 years. So it's almost like a nostalgia in a way. Being able to be there right at the right time in the right place. You know what? You haven't come to Wawa in a while. I think you need a free milkshake. So, and that leads into Foster's innovative business models. I wasn't even looking at this. Exactly. So you want a milkshake? You haven't come to my store? Well, maybe I'll offer you 50 cents off your gallon of gas because you're more inclined to buy gas than milkshakes. And if we want to get another level deeper, that Wawa app on your phone tracks everywhere you go. So when you get closer to Wawa, maybe you get a push notification that, hey, we'll give you a free sundae. So next time you got those notifications, just know they know where you are and who you are, what you do. They know everything. Everything. So maybe they don't care as much as we think they do. Give me their comments below. I'll be very fascinated to answer them in the next video. I enjoy this engagement. Click subscribe. We're going to be coming up with these stories every week. Business innovation and basically how big data translates into normal words that an average person can understand, visualize, and make sense of. So subscribe.